Hey everybody, John here with another episode of Hearthstone Dailies for Ghosts. In this episode, I'm going to be waving goodbye and so long and farewell to a few sets of Hearthstone cards. With the new standard format coming out, we're going to be seeing Goblins versus Gnomes and the Naxxramas adventure leaving Hearthstone. With that, there's some cards that I'm going to miss. And then there's some cards that I'm going to be so glad are leaving. And first off, we're going to start off with the cards that I dislike playing against and I'm really happy are leaving. So I'm kind of dancing on their grave a little bit. So we're going to start with those cards first. And then we'll get into the cards that I'm really going to miss that I love. So the first card that we're going to start with is the Priest card, Light Bomb. Now, I know a lot of Priests like Light Bomb, and it's a really great way for Priests to remove cards. But I hate it because it's an amazing board clear because basically the minion can almost always kill itself with its own attack. So you bring out Light Bomb, board clear. It doesn't, it's not like Flame Strike where it costs a little bit more. And it doesn't, Flame Strike being the mage card that doesn't quite take everything out. Light Bomb is really effective and I've been destroyed by it. I think that it's a little overpowered and I'm happy to see it go. The next card that I don't love that I'm happy to see go is in Hansel Meccano. It's a neutral card that came in as part of the Goblins versus Gnomes set. And Hansel Meccano is a card that is hell to play against if your opponent has a full board. Let's say that they've got a full board, you've got a full board, you're actually doing pretty well, you might win, and Hansel Meccano comes out and gives people either Wind Fury, Taunt, or Divine Shield at random. This card is so hard to play against. I think it's a little overpowered personally, especially in token decks. It can get really crazy. This card is really hard to counter. And personally, I'm happy to see it go. I've lost many a game to Hansel Meccano, and as a card that's not a legendary, it's a little OP. So happy to see it go. Goodbye in Hansel Meccano. And I'm going to continue on with some other cards I didn't like, and you might see a theme here, which is Mech Warper. I don't like mechs. I don't like playing against mechs. I think the synergy is a little cheese. Mech Warper being a card that I dislike. Mech Warper is a really good 2/3 for 3. Just value-wise, it's pretty solid. The fact that you can get your mechs out for costing 1 less in early game is insane. I think it's a little bit overpowered when I'm playing against a mech deck. I think that it's just one of those extra things that makes them unfun to play against. And I am super happy. Goodbye, Mech Warper. Goodbye. And then I'm going to end off with the 2 cards that I'm the most happy to see gone. And we're going to start off with Piloted Shredder. Okay, so the nice thing about Piloted Shredder is that everyone can get one because they're easy to craft, they're cheap, it's a common. However, a 4/3 for 4 that summons a 2-cost minion with Death Rattle is broken. It's so good. What deck do you not want to put Piloted Shredder in? It's pretty much the best card you can play at turn 4. That's not cool because you're left with, this is the best card to play at turn 1, this is the best card to play at turn, and then you go up to Piloted Shredder, which is, as far as I'm concerned, Doctor turn 4, and the Doctor term for the card I am the most happy about it. If you follow me, you know I hate this card with a passion, Dr. Boom. Okay, so this is where it's called Doctor Turn 7 for a reason. Everyone would play this at turn 7. I can't think of a lot of situations where this wouldn't be the best card to play at tempo at turn 7. Whereas I think Dr. Boom is the worst offender on all these cards, and I'm so happy to dance on Boom's grave. At least the other cards were easier to get because they're commons or at least rares or epics, and those are a little easier cards to craft. Dr. Boom's a full-on legendary. It is broken. If it were maybe a class legendary, it'd be a little better, but even then, this card is nuts. I have lost many a game to this card simply because they bring it out and it's really hard to counter. It doesn't win all games, but damn is it annoying, and I am happy to see Dr. Boom go. I think that because it's also I like it when really good legendaries come into adventures because anyone can get them. They're pretty easy to get. As a free-to-play, player, you can easily grind up for all the cards in adventures, and I like that. Dr. Boom, as far as I'm concerned, created the haves and the have-not booms, and I really do think that people with boom do a bit better, and I think that that's unfortunate because it's just cheese. I mean, 7/7 for 7 is good, and then you get the boom bots, and that's even better, and then the boom bots blowing up. It's just goodbye, Dr. Boom. You will not be missed. Although I imagine since Dr. Boom is still so good, it's going to get a ton of play in Wild, which is fine. That's what Wild's for. So I'm going to start things off with the cards that I am going to miss that Hearthstone is saying goodbye to. And the first one is Zombie Chow. Zombie Chow is an Naxxramas card that's Death Rattle. Restore 5 health to the enemy hero, and it's a 2/3 for 1. Now, as this arguably is one of the best 1-drops in the game. It's a 2/3 for 1. That's an amazing amount of power for 1. However, it comes with a benefit to the opponent, which is it restores 5 health to the enemy hero. You might think, wow, would you never do that? You'd never want to do it. But when you're early on in the game, it's a great answer to a lot of early stuff. If you play it late game, they're going to easily kill it, and they're going to heal for 5. So it's a perfect early game card, and it has a benefit to the person that you're playing it against. So I think this is a really nice card. I think it's pretty well balanced, and I love playing it, and it's going away. So goodbye, Zombie Chow. You will be missed. The next card in the series is one of my favorite hunter cards in Web Spinner. It's a 1/1 for 1, and it's a beast card, so it adds to the beast synergy, and it adds a random beast card to your hand. This card is great. For an early game card, it's great because you can get card draw from it, which is a really, really useful ability. I think this is an amazing 1/1 card for 1. It fits in with the beast, with the hunter's sort of beast duality there, and it's really unfortunate to see it go because it's such a useful card, and I consider it such a staple of a good hunter deck, actually. So sad to see Web Spinner go. Unfortunately, it's not a common. I think that would be in the common or classic set. That'd be actually really good. But goodbye, Web Spinner. It's a good card, solid all around. It's unfortunate to see it go. And another hunter card, Glade Zucca, is leaving from Naxxramas. This is a really fun card to play. It's a 2/2 weapon for 2 that gives a random friendly minion +1 attack. So let's say you've got a Web Spinner on the board on turn 1, and on turn 2 you play Glade Zucca. You get a weapon so you can respond to a minion, probably one you can kill at turn 2, and then it buffs up your Web Spinner, which is a really nice ability. So your Web Spinner can start trading or whatnot. So I just think this is a really good value weapon that I don't consider too terribly broken, and it's a common, which means everyone can have it. Plus it was also a Naxxramas, so everyone can get it. And I just think it's a really good weapon. It's too bad, and I use it a lot, and it's a fun card. And the next one is really going to change up the game a lot, I think, which is the loss of Loatheb, actually. So Loatheb is a 5/5 for 5, and it's got an amazing battle cry, which is enemy spells cost 5 more next turn. So you drop Loatheb around turn 5 or 6 when you know that your opponent's going to maybe play a board clear, they're going to play some spell you don't want. You actually just want them to trade with your minions, and if it's a spell heavy deck, dropping Loatheb would basically mean you can't do jack squat this turn, or if you were going to do something, it's going to cost you. And Loatheb was a great response in later games to, well, I don't want them to do anything to my board right now, or I don't want them to do any magic abilities. So this is just such a great strategic card that it's just sad to see it go. I don't think it's broken, and again, it's a Naxxramas legendary, so everyone can get it. It's an adventure card, so just a little sad to see it go because I have it in so many decks, and it's just helped out so much. And it's a card that when it's played against me, I don't feel it to be unfair or anything like that. So goodbye, Loatheb. Goodbye, Sweet Prince. Continuing on with cards that I'm sad to see leave Hearthstone's standard and be rotated out is Haunted Creeper. Wow. Haunted Creeper to me seems like a signature Hearthstone card in that it's a card that I've played a lot of. It fits in so many decks. It's so versatile. It's great to bring out. And like a lot of my favorite Hearthstone cards, it's a Death Rattle card. And I think Death Rattle cards for me are the most fun because when it dies, something else happens from it. And so it's not always bad that the card dies. So in this instance, it's a 1/2 for 2. And when it dies, 2 spiders come out. It's also a beast card, which fits in with beast synergies. And I started Hearthstone around Naxxramas. So to me, Haunted Creeper just seems like such a classic Hearthstone card, and it's a really good card. And when I started, I ground up and I ground for gold, and I unlocked Naxxramas, and there are a lot of value cards in Naxxramas for new players. And so for me, Haunted Creeper was a card that I play a lot of. I still do. It'll be in my wild decks for sure, but it's sad to see it go because it's such a fun card that I really enjoy playing. And I'm going to continue these last 3, Haunted Creeper, and then the other 2 are, like I say, Death Rattle cards. And I'm going to continue on with Nubian Egg. Okay, this is a card that I thought was trash when I first saw it. I'm like, why would you play this card? You know, you're going to have to kill it to make it worth anything. And it sounds like way too much work. What I didn't realize about this card is it's incredible. So you put it out there on turn 2 if you don't have anything else you can play, and you can use cards like Warlocks, like buff it for 4/4 and then it dies, so you can use it for like an instant like flash damage and then it comes back as a 4/4, or which I totally love using, you can buff it with with a card that'll just do a temporary attack buff, and then it can go out and hit someone and die and then come back as a 4/4 or stay alive. But my favorite use for it recently has been in the Raptor Rogue deck, which you drop Nubian Egg. You use one of the Rogue's abilities to buff the card, and then you copy the Death Rattle onto your Raptor. It's just so powerful. It's so versatile. I love having Nubian Egg on the board with as a 4/2 minion, so I buff it, and then using it as a regular minion. I figure that's just like the worst because it was so cheap to get out, and then when it dies, it comes back as a 4/4. So I love Nubian Egg because I love crazy situations where you can do stuff that seems so weird, and I'm really sad to see Nubian Egg go. It's just such a fun card. And finally, a card that I am going to miss from Hearthstone that's leaving Standard is Sludge Belcher. Sludge Belcher. Oh my god, Sludge Belcher. Okay, where do I start with Sludge Belcher? Sludge Belcher, to me, is a great card because, again, when you're a free-to-play person, you start unlocking tiers of adventures, you get a card like Sludge Belcher, and it's almost always something you want to put into an early deck because you don't have a lot of cards, you don't have all legendaries, you don't have everything. But Sludge Belcher is incredible value, right? You got to kill Sludge Belcher because it's got Taunt to get to your hero, and then you have to kill the slime that summons after it comes. It's a Death Rattle card, so again, my favorite cards are Death Rattle cards because something fun happens when it dies. And it's a 3/5 for 5, and it doesn't seem to me to be overcosted. But in the new meta that seems to be coming up, Sludge Belcher does seem a little bit overpowered. However, for me, it's always been just a card that I love playing. I love the art, I love the music, the sound effects that it makes and everything. So for me, Sludge Belcher. Well, anyways, so let me know what cards that you're sad to see get rotated out in a Standard, and what do you think about the cards that I'm going to miss the most? Am I crazy? Are they OP? I don't know. Maybe they are. But anyways, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.